Okay guys, so I've got it all ready to go. We've made some major modifications though. And the first of which is, there is the drill, the post drill. And there is the transmission from a tiller. That's actually the tines were attached to these blocks and these blocks. So it was a what do they call it? A vertical shaft tiller. And I took that off of there, off of the tiller, and stuck it down here because this is a worm drive transmission. So it's got a lot more power, it runs a lot slower, seems a lot safer. So if you want to see how it ran with this guy, then here it is. It lives! So as you can see, that was kind of violent and messy. So also what I did is I did away with the hinged motor mount and put in a pulley system to actually tension the belt, and that's a lot easier. You don't have to lift the weight of that motor. Even with 4-to-1, it was like lifting 15 pounds back there, 10 or 15 pounds. So that, and solved the side-to-side issue with the hammer. It's nice and solid now. All I had to do was tighten the bolt. Kind of weird, huh? Also had a a half by half rod attaching here, and I bent it. So I put in this much heavier, actually it's a piece of a crowbar. So that I'll do it. Added a switch over here. Click it on. And step down here. You could actually stop it in the up position because that worm drive, where it stops, it stops. So all in all, it is working. We're going to try to actually do something with it, but first we've got to move it to the blacksmith shop, and that's about 10-15 feet on concrete inside, and then it's about 30 feet of grass. So the roller dolly I have might not do it, but we're going to try it. Anyway, we will come back once we've got it moved out. Oh, and Kyle, who you remember probably from the video of the Maker Fair, is here helping out today. So we're going to have him actually test it out the first time because he's got a lot more familiarity with using a machine like this than I do. Alright, we'll come back in just a little bit. Show them.
You're too lazy to swing your own hammer.
Hey man, I gotta find some.
That's a great idea.
Need an intern or something to do it for me.
That was the original power hammer.
Exactly.
Actually, I call it a striker. You have somebody with a sledgehammer sitting there going, bang!
Yeah, I saw a YouTube video where they had two people taking turns.
Yeah.
It's really complicated. This is the cheating version where we make the machine do the slightly.
Alright. We're getting to stop up in the air now.
Yeah.
I totally took the drill off.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, it's got the transmission of this thing on.
Okay. Oh yeah, you completely revamped this thing.
Yeah, that worm drive is fantastic. Nice slow, internalized.
one nice thing about the cold forge over the gas forge is that the cold forge is faster.
Yeah.
But the gas forge has a lot of other advantages that the cold forge does not even compare to.
Typically, to get from scratch to a hot enough fire, the coal does get to, say, like welding temperatures quicker.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's about the same. And the nice thing about the gas is I can turn down the gas, walk off, do some other stuff, come back, turn the gas back on, and it kind of jumps back up to heat. The residual heat can kind of stay in there for a little bit.
Yeah.
It's coal fire, kind of just let it sit there. They'll do the same, but
Yeah, once you turn on coal, it's burning no matter what.
Exactly.
You can actually turn propane on and off.
you can't control how much coal you're putting in, how high you're getting the fire and stuff like that, but the propane is just on, off.
Yeah.
And all I need is a match. Bam, on. And it should be about dull orange. I'm going to wait till like it's nice time. Really squish this thing. Fair enough. That's one nice thing. I can't hear the motor being on when you're plugged in.
Yeah.
Surprisingly
Well,
quiet.
I had to look. I saw the belt vibrate. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, but if you want to be able to hear other things later in life.
Right.
How many more minutes do you think we have before getting back for dinner? 10.
We're almost there.
There you go.
That's fun. You gotta stick to it. Well, we're getting good geometry. It's all squared up.
Just cooled down too quick.
Yeah, this wasn't quite my forging temperature. That was like a low forging temperature. I'll show you what real forging temperatures look like. Even with this coal forge, I was getting close. Oh, yeah.
Still kind of take off on them.
It's exciting.
Well, that got a little creepy.
Yeah, this is great. We're going to be able to get use out of like scrap metal now and make it into
Yeah.
real stuff.
And, it might take a little bit of time, basically just fuel and the time sitting here working it, but you can do it all day. All day, no problem. It's just chunk, 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 back to fire. So,
Yeah, it looks a lot easier.
Okay, my arm's finished.
And it's actually probably safer.
Yeah, well, safer in the fact that you're not going to tear your shoulder up.
Yeah.
You know?
it's all labor.
And all the hits are basically going to go to the same spot every time. You're not going to get less accurate with fatigue.
I would argue this is actually from what I can tell, a very safe power hammer, especially for being homemade, because of how controlled and slow some of the movement is. A lot of them, if they get, my little giant on the spec sheets said to put it at, such a size pulley, so many RPM motor, and so many hits per minute. And I did it by the book, and my God, that thing was so fast. It was whipping itself like crazy, and it was barely even forging because it was so busy flailing around trying to destroy itself. And I said, man, this just does not seem right. Like, I can't really tell what's happening under the dies. I don't have time to react if I need to switch things. So once I tuned it down, slowed it down, it actually hit harder. Because instead of having all this centrifugal motion where it was kind of pulling the whole circle of the hammer dies, it would just go flop. And all the energy would go bam, one good hit. And it would slow down, but it would hit harder. So it would actually get more done, and I could have way more control, and it was safer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you can imagine this thing was trying to go wham, 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 went way up, it'd be kind of rocking all over the place and trying to fall apart.
Having a more efficient setup is going to get you more bang for your buck.
Exactly. And especially with a good, nice heat.
Ah, there.
Oh, that's a hot one.
That's normal working temperatures.
Huh?
There it is. I'm just going to draw it down to a square.
Pretty square.
So you're squaring it out?
Yeah. I figure it's just the example of taking scrap metal, bringing it down to a workable stock. You know, stuff like crowbars, a crowbar over here. If you wanted to say a square punch or something. You know, it's really tough steel inherently. So if I wanted a square, I have to draw it down towards the square out by hand. You take it under that thing, it'll probably take the same amount of time, but you don't have to lift the hammer. And it just once you get pretty damn close to the actual dimensions you want under the power hammer, you just do one smoothing pass with the hammer, you're good to go.
Perfect.
So in terms of reducing things to doing the bulk of the work, this thing can take that. Whereas the finesse stuff and all the fine tuning, that's still done by hand. But I'd much rather fuss about the surface and the geometry by hand hammer than having to
Do you
wail on
actually,
stuff.
is there like a sanding equivalent in blacksmithing?
How do you mean?
Like in woodworking, there comes a step where we just sand everything down.
Last finish?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, you
you
guys do that in
you sand things.
Oh, you still
can
sand
sand
metal?
stuff. In terms of
Seems like that would just take a long time.
in terms of the actual
You don't
blacksmithing,
usually do it by hand. The final stuff, but
there is a called a finishing heat. I think it's generally referred to as a finishing heat. And I'll show you after this next one because once the heat goes out and it gets to about a gray color, it's still about 900 degrees. And at that point, if I go and hammer it, I'm basically just touching up and reshaping the very surface of that bar.
Yeah.
I'm not forging into the innards and trying to squish it. Plant it.
yeah.
Okay.
You have a round, there's that's round enough. Thing.
Like you'll get
Pretty cool.
loving it.
So that heat, I can't really forge the main part of the material, but I can clean up the surface. So any of the marks I get at that point, you can planish out. But honestly, that leaves it pretty dang smooth.
Yeah, I'm liking it.
It's got a nice, you did a good job smoothing this down and the hammerhead, so it's really smooth. And you notice it's coming up pretty straight. It's not bending to one way or the other. That means that those are pretty squared up, and that's nice. Because if it was kind of lopsided, if you forced it up out a bunch, you would have this big curve in it, and you have to straighten it back.
the other end to.
Exactly. Because a lot of people think, oh, well, you work with all this heat and you're working the iron with heat. So it must be good at conducting heat, right? Iron actually sucks at heat transfer. Like aluminum is by far loads better at having heat sucked through it. That's why you use aluminum for computer parts, processors, things like that, because it's a really good heat sink. So if I put a piece of aluminum and a piece of steel as close to equally close to the fire, the aluminum one's going to be screaming hot in like 5 seconds. The steel will take an hour for it warms up. So in terms of I can get one part stupidly hot, and eventually heat will build up in the bar just from the whole forge, and eventually it'll creep up, but you can feel it coming, especially if it's a big bar. You'll slowly say, it's getting warmer, it's a little warm, uncomfortably warm, and then you just dump it in the water. Old blacksmiths use that to their advantage when they're using the coal forge, because they would heat up just one section, and if they can't heat up just the 2 inches or whatever they want to work with, they'll heat up a 4-inch section, come to the water tub, pour water over the other 2 inches they don't want, and that'll cool off that section while leaving you the heat right there. So
That's
you
perfect, yeah.
can use localized heat to get certain tricky applications done. Just depends on what you're trying to get done. That's what those were. I left 2 pairs of tongs here.
Yeah, I told you.
I like those. These are actually my favorite for my propane forge because I can reach in there and manipulate things. And that little hook, I can pull things to the forefront so I can get the tongs on it and get it out. That's the tricky part. If you don't have a piece long enough to be able to grab, you got to get it out of the forge with the tongs. And that's like playing with fire.
You are playing with fire.
Well, that's when they go. Inside and eat.
Yeah.
It's dinner time.
I'm going to get some Loctite or something. Or lock block.
Well, I mean, it did like what's up here.
Yeah. Good news is it can come off and still run fine.
It's like, how did I ever tighten that?
I can't compare it. You see what I mean when I'm talking about you don't know what the actual forging heats are? You really got to get up there. That's why, like, you know, it might cost a bit of money up front to get that torch, but man, if I didn't have that kind of heat when I was working, I wouldn't have gotten the half the work done.
Is the wind make us do that?
What's that?
Does the wind make us do that?
Yeah, just a little bit of whatever. Typically, these forges, you have to have exhaust because you're pumping so much gas into it, so much air, and it needs somewhere for it to go. So, you know, this back piece is really good because it kind of blocks it in, but it doesn't seal it up. If it seals it up, then all the exhaust is coming out the front right in your face.
Right.
I don't quite like it. Might be a little too hot to hold. No, we'll make it.
we go again.
Less is better.
If you're watching metal, every time it hits, it leaves like a little dark spot, so you can see exactly where you're hitting, so you can move it around and move that spot to where you want to shift.
That's the nice crack you got on the hammer fix there. It's a nice smooth.
There's actually the original ground